What shall I type?
We'll share that with you, but we'd like to have you here on Zoom. Facebook is for recordings.
Okay, afterwards we cannot. It's not recorded, no?
It is recorded, yeah. You can always go there afterwards. If we miss, then you can always
afterwards,
go there.
Yes. I want to go afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. The idea is that this is interactive, so you get more out of the class.
No, I want this also, but then I want to see
you want more, okay.
I want more.
That's good. Yes. So
because I want my friends also to see and all that.
Yes,
so,
yes, I will share that. Yeah, I can share that with you. Hold on for 1 second here. We'll just get started momentarily after this brief prayers to the spiritual master. So Kiran Mataji, on the Zoom chat, I'm going to put a link to my Facebook or to my website, and you can look at that from there. Okay, so let's get started, dear devotees. Thank you for joining the call here on a Friday evening. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjan-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamani Dati Svapadantikam Vande Shri Guru Shri Yuta-pada-kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganam Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajinam Sadvaitam Savatutam Sarinana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishnu Kanisa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanu Sute Devi Pranamani Haripriya Vachakalparpucha Pasinti Pucha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha Gaur Premanandi Hari Bo. Thank you so much again, dear devotees, for joining us. Madhav Sangiri Mataji. Hare Krishna. So, which verse are we going to do today from Bhagavad-gita?
7.20.
7.20. Satapa Mataji, always on top of it. Yes, it is 7.20. And let me see if I can bring 7.20 up on the screen somewhere close to you. So, 7.20. And I'm going to start sharing this here. I also wanted to share with everybody, those who are watching us on Zoom, that this is the website that I have. We have some choice that we have. And then here, if you go to Gita, click on Gita, it'll tell you about Gita. It tells us about the class schedule only. And it tells you how to join on Facebook, YouTube, and how to join live. So there we are. On Facebook and YouTube for now, and Zoom here. Without much ado, let's get down to business here and go into 7.20. Also, just want to let you know that tomorrow is Saturday and I will be teaching in one of my god sisters' home in the evening. I think they wanted to start at 5:30, which will be 8:30 on the East Coast on Saturday evening. And 8:30 in the East Coast is going to be what in India? 10 a.m. in India on Saturday. For them, it'll be Sunday 10 a.m. Right? Yeah, Sunday 10 a.m.
Sunday?
No, Mataji, for you it's going to be 8:30 a.m. 8:30 p.m.
8:30 p.m. Saturday.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, and then for
what is that you're talking about it from India?
I don't know. I was saying people who are joining from India, right?
Oh,
join from India. For them, it is.
I thought you're here. You're going to India.
No.
If anybody's going to India, I'm feeling so much. Nobody's taking me.
You had said several times on Facebook.
My daughter is going to Vrindavan 3rd of next month.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not, I want to go.
So pray hard to Krishna, and then whatever.
That's what
you
I'm
take it.
doing now.
Okay, good.
I'm not,
All right, let's see
I'm
who's
not
doing this.
relying on my children, or I'm not relying on anybody.
Good.
Only Krishna, only Krishna.
Okay, Yugal Mataji joined us here.
And
Okay.
Krishna will decide if and when to go.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
you're right.
And more than
Exactly.
that, more than that, it's important to accept Krishna's decisions. That's very important, and a way to stay satisfied. That approach will keep you satisfied in life and never frustrated.
That's true.
Because also saying that Krishna is going to do that.
That's
However, let's see what people do. Kāmais hṛta-jñānāḥ prapadyante nya-devatāḥ tam niyamam āsthāya prakṛtyā niyatāḥ svayā. Kāmais hṛta-jñānāḥ prapadyante nya-devatāḥ tam niyamam āsthāya prakṛtyā niyatāḥ svayā. Kāmais hṛta-jñānāḥ prapadyante nya-devatāḥ tam niyamam āsthāya prakṛtyā niyatāḥ svayā. Kāmais means by desires. Kam means desire. By desires. Tair, various. Tarah ke. That we see, right? In Hindi we speak tarah ke. So it's coming from here. Tair. And when we bring it into Sanskrit, two together, they become tais, tair. Right? Like that. Hṛta. Hṛta means deprived of. Jnana is
knowledge.
prapadyante is surrender. Anya to other. Devatāḥ demigods. Tam corresponding. Niyamam regulations. Āsthāya following. Prakṛtyā by nature. Niyatāḥ controlled. Svayā by their own nature. Okay, niyatāḥ is control. Niyam. You see the word niyam? Okay. So what is the Sanskrit for surrender?
Surrender, prapadyante.
Prapadyante, correct. For 500 points. What is the Sanskrit for by nature?
Prakṛtyā.
Prakṛtyā. Prakṛtyā. Right. And what is the Sanskrit for various?
Various?
Taiḥ.
Mataji, this sloka, it says tair, tair. But here, this word synonymous.
Correct. When I was doing the synonyms, that's what I said. I said, here it is tahe, but when you went from the Sanskrit, the sandhi and the modifications happen, right? So the gets modified. Yeah, the two letters get modified, right? So this H gets modified into a S because of the T that is after it. And this H becomes a R because of the H that is here. So those are the rules of Sanskrit there. Yeah, that's a language.
Okay.
All right. What is the meaning of depriving? When you deprive somebody of something. Hṛta, correct. Okay. And let's see. Ritu Mataji joined us here today. Just now. That's good. All right. So now let's see what Prabhupada has to tell us about this one. Kāmais hṛta-jñānāḥ prapadyante nya-devatāḥ tam niyamam āsthāya prakṛtyā niyatāḥ svayā. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. So who will follow rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures? Follow the rules and regulations.
No, not on
demigods.
Nature.
Surrender into demigods.
Varshana, go ahead.
Those whose intelligence has been stolen, such people,
Correct.
those who are in the material desires, and they are surrendered unto that. So they will go to surrender unto the demigods.
Carry on. Carry on. Where is this going on?
Okay. Right. So purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those who are freed from all material contamination, who are amal. Amal means material, and amal means without any material. So those who are freed from all material contaminations surrender unto the Supreme Lord and engage in his devotional service. As long as the material contamination is not completely washed out, they are by nature non-devotees. But even those who have material desires and who resort to the Supreme Lord are not so much attracted by external nature. It's an interesting thing that even those who have material desires but who resort to the Supreme Lord are not so much attracted by external nature because of approaching the right goal, which is Krishna. And because of that, because they're approaching the right goal, they will soon become free from all material lust. Right? For example, if there's a road that takes you from Delhi to Agra, and there's another road that takes you from Delhi to Bombay, and if you have to go to Bombay, and you take the road from Delhi to Bombay, then you will reach Bombay. Right? So it's about taking the right path. So here, that's what it's saying. By approaching the right goal, they soon become free from all material lust. In the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it is recommended that whether one is a pure devotee and is free from all material desires, or is full of material desires, which means is not a pure devotee, or desires liberation, moksha kama, from material contamination, he should in all cases surrender to Vāsudeva and worship him. As stated in Bhagavatam 2.3.10, akama sarva kamova moksha kama udaradhihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Less intelligent people who have lost their spiritual sense take shelter of demigods for immediate fulfillment of material desires. Less intelligence people, right? And in today's verse, less intelligence is where it is? Kāmais hṛta-jñānāḥ. Their jnana is lost, right? So similarly, here in this verse, he's saying that those who's less intelligent people who have lost their spiritual sense, because intelligence means buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga means worship of the Lord. So less intelligent people who have lost their spiritual sense take shelter of demigods for immediate fulfillment of material desires.
Okay.
Generally, such people do not go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they are in lower mode of nature, ignorance and passion, and therefore worship various demigods. Following the rules and regulations of worship, they are satisfied. The worshippers of demigods are motivated by small desires and do not know how to reach the supreme goal, but a devotee of the Supreme Lord is not misguided. Because in Vedic literature, there are recommendations for worshipping different gods for different purposes. That is, a deceased man is recommended to worship the sun. Those who are not devotees of the Lord think that for certain purposes, demigods are better than the Supreme Lord. So that they have this like, okay, if you want this, it's better to go to a demigod instead of going to Krishna. But a pure devotee knows that the Supreme Lord Krishna is the master of all. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita 5.142 Adi Leela, it is said, Ekala Ishvara Krishna Ar Sabha Bhritya. Bhritya means servant. Only, then in Bengali, only the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is a master, and all others are servants. Therefore, a pure devotee never goes to demigods for satisfaction of his material needs. He depends on the Supreme Lord, and the pure devotee is satisfied with whatever he gets. He with a capital H. Right? So whether Krishna is giving you a trip to India or not, we will just be satisfied with whatever he's giving us here.
Okay.
I had to say that.
No, I am not praying any demigods. I am praying only Krishna.
Right, that is fine. But sometimes, even after praying to Krishna, Krishna might not give. because he might think it is for your better.
Okay.
It is for your good. That,
Okay,
yeah,
Mataji.
who knows, yeah.
Okay, Mataji.
It depends
I
on the
thought I'll
situation.
go and see Guru Maharaj. That's what.
Guru
No,
Maharaj you can see every day.
I'm not coming to California either. My
He's in
son
the
moved
video.
out. See,
See?
what is this going on for me, Mataji?
Good thing. No complaints.
No complaint.
Okay, so let's open up. What do you think about this verse?
It's, in India, usually, mostly, everybody prays demigods, for obstacles, Ganesha, and then, for, what is that, other things, Narasimha, not Narasimha, but demigods like Ganesha and other god, they do sun god like that. So, why they were used to like that, I have no idea. In fact, until I came to this Krishna consciousness, I don't know. I was praying all the gods, god and goddesses, everything, everybody. So they might be confused who wants to fulfill my thing, because all the god and goddess I was praying. I didn't know that we need to pay Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. So why they started like that, I don't know. See, for rains, we do Varun Devata. So because they do right away, they will fulfill or something like that. I have no idea, Mataji.
Yeah, so we have to look at, what demigods are, who the demigods are, right? So
They are
one thing
under supervision of Krishna only.
Yeah. So demigods are devotees, number one. We have to understand that, right? So they are devotees of Krishna. And they have been put by Krishna in that place in order to manage this material world. Right? Krishna has created this material world, but Krishna is one who doesn't even wear shoes, right? Because he's playing with a flute.
Yeah.
That's Krishna. So he has to get somebody to do that job if he wants to play. After creating this whole material universe, somebody has to manage it, right?
Okay.
So the demigods are there. They are in charge of, how much rain. And sometimes you see, especially here in California, I've seen that there are places. And Madha Sangini Mataji might tell us more about that, because Merced, from where has got good hot temperature. And it's very conducive for growing grapes and almonds and those kind of things. People grow those in that area. And so sometimes a tornado will come. And the tornado will come and destroy the crops. And so you have sowed almonds, and when they're very nice, right, and about to ripen, and then tornado comes and everything falls to the ground. So you suffer losses, right? And so you'll notice that the tornado came and demolished the fields next to you, but your field was saved. So how does that happen, right? So there are demigods in charge of all these things. So how many demigods are there in this universe?
Demigods, how many?
33 crores, right? 33 crore devata. 33 crore devata. So there are so many that are needed to manage this whole affairs of this universe. Okay. Now, if the tornado came and struck my field and did not strike my neighbor's field, it is a doing of a demigod. And I have to understand, if I'm wise and smart and spiritually smart, then I will understand that this thing that came all of a sudden and seems so strange that only I am being impacted and others are not being impacted by that.
Okay.
आपके सावन बड़ी अजीब बात हुई. मेरा घर छोड़ सबके घर बरसात हुई.
Okay.
Right? People might just say, isn't it like that? And so an intelligent person will understand that this is something that I have done. And it's a punishment that is being meted out to me.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So when you take that as a blessing from Krishna that I did something wrong, I'm being punished, But the good news is that my karmic reaction for that particular activity is now exhausted because I got punished. Like that, right? So that mood is there. The different mood is there, right? That when I'm in this world, when I'm suffering, if it becomes very difficult for me bodily to accept it, it's hindering one can go to Krishna and ask for some relief, right? But people don't do that. People will go to demigods. And going to demigods and asking them to, change things which have been destined for me. And they can do that. They have the powers to do that. They can't change your destiny because for every action, there has got to be a reaction. So you will suffer the reactions as well. What the demigods typically can do is they can either give you stuff ahead of time or they can delay it. Like bad things that are going to come to you, they will delay it to a later date, maybe to the next lifetime. Like that. So you live carefully, you live nicely here, right? Similarly, if you want something, then they can also give you, right? But whatever they give, they will only give after Krishna has approved.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Unless Krishna's will, we won't, demigods cannot do anything. Is that right?
Yeah.
Though they have powers.
Yeah. So though they have power, and then so they will kind of just do that for you. Okay. So now when we start offering things to the demigods, right? Demigod worship will always mean they have to offer something there.
Yeah.
Demigods are not like patram pushpam phalam toyam.
No.
Give me little water. No, demigod worship is elaborate and expensive, right?
Yeah.
So they will. So what we are essentially doing is that we know we are destined to suffer from something, and now we are going to the in charge and we are saying, okay, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that. Can you lighten my sentence? So in effect, you are bribing the demigods. So when we do demigod worship with these kind of things in mind, we can always go to demigods and say like how Rukmini used to worship Katyayani, right? And she wanted Krishna as a husband. So her goal is not material goal at all. She's asking for Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, as her husband. That's a very much a transcendental goal, right? So you go to the demigods. But people don't go to the demigods like that. They go to the demigods for some immediate need. Immediately thinks that they know that Krishna is going to take a long time to do that for me. So that's what they get. So we are essentially bribing them.
But you are saying they will do.
Yes.
But immediately, if Krishna won't give any permission, then they cannot do anything.
That is true. But that happens immediately, quickly. If you go to Krishna, Krishna might delay it because he's going to take the pros and cons of everything, right? So when we get our material desires fulfilled, okay? After your material desires is fulfilled, you're going to be very happy, right or wrong? If your material desires are fulfilled, will you be
that might be temporary for me.
Might be
temporary.
It might be temporary or it will be temporary?
Will be temporary.
And why?
And then Mataji, I for example,
first answer that question. Why is it temporary?
Because demigods.
I asked for a car. I got a car. It worked with me for 25 years. That was good. Why are we calling the gifts from demigods temporary?
They don't have that much powers like Krishna has.
No, they have got quite a bit of powers. After all, they're Krishna's devotee. Krishna has taken care of his devotees. Why do we say that the gifts given by the demigods to us are temporary? Why do we say that? Think about it, everybody, and share.
Because they don't give us eternal satisfaction.
They don't give us eternal satisfaction, that is fine. But why is the gift itself temporary?
Because it is a material that will not last. Or it can get stolen, the car can get stolen.
What if the car doesn't get stolen?
Like she said, material. This is material.
So what? Cars are good, huh? Tesla is good.
Yeah, it will be good, but it is material. Krishna says, don't go for material.
No, we are not. That is not the question.
The thing is,
why are the gifts given by Vachana Mataji raising her hand? Why are the gifts, I'm repeating the question so that you can think the answer. Why are the gifts given by the demigods considered to be temporary? Go ahead.
Hare, may I say also?
Mm-hmm.
Because they stay here only. When we die, we don't carry anything from here. Nothing goes with us.
Correct, correct.
That
So somebody had said, I'm forgetting which Mataji said that the car can get stolen, right? Well, you know what? At the end of the life, everything gets stolen. Everything gets taken away.
Yeah.
Like that. Mata Sangini Mataji?
Yeah, actually, it was already said, but maybe also we only deserve certain things to certain level, and once it's exhausted, it's gone.
Shine Punya Marte Lokam. Right? So it's like you have a credit card, not a credit card, but a gift card with $100 put in it, right? And you take that gift card and you go to a hotel and you book the hotel for 2 nights, you give them the gift cards. The hotel is $50 a night. After the $100 exhausted, what are the hotel guys going to do to you?
They will charge you.
But you have no money.
They will ask us to leave the hotel.
They'll ask you to leave the hotel, right? Exactly, that's what happens. So when you go to the heavenly planets, so people kind of figure that out. They figure, some people just don't even know. The Naradhams, the lowest in the mankind, they think that everything that is happening here, this is it. This life and this world, that is it. So whatever opportunity that I have to enjoy, I should enjoy completely here only. Okay? The others are a little bit more smart. They understand that there is some sort of a life after death. Okay? And the smarter among those, what they try to do is they try to improve that life after death. So they say, okay, let me do something over here so that that other life becomes much better. Always thinking about the future, right? A man earns money for his wife and son. He becomes a little bit more rich. He says, okay, let me save for my grandson. He becomes a little bit more rich, like a great-grandson, great-grandson. There's a 6 series you want, right? 6 generations, you want to store money for them. It's a common thing, right? People do. And so they have figured it out that, okay, in this life, this is there, but there is a next life. Let me fix that next life also. So they will start doing all kinds of pious activities. They'll get elevated to the heavenly planets where they will enjoy. They will enjoy the benefits of the heavenly planet, but then they are on a gift card. So when the gift card
after everything is over, they will come down.
Yeah. Shine Punya, when the Punya becomes Shina, diminished, Martya Lokam Vishanti. They will come back to this life which has got birth and death. They have to come back. So that is why all these benefits that are given for material activities are known as temporary. Okay. And you can only give what you have to others what you have. Is that right? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can only give to somebody what you have. What you don't have, you can't give. Right? So if somebody doesn't have devotional service, they can't give devotional service to others. If somebody has got devotional service, they can give devotional service to others. For example, classic example is Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Right? He gave devotional service to so many people. So here what they're saying is kāmais hṛta-jñānāḥ. So when a person, his kāmais, desires, his mental faculties are dulled. His capability to think it through properly is completely dull. When his mind has overtaken the intelligence so that it does not discriminate, right? That such a person, will go to the demigods because you get things quickly, and he's asking for material gains. Like that, right? Sometimes Krishna says in some places that, if a person comes and asks me for certain things, I will give it to him in such a way that he will regret that he asked it. Because Krishna doesn't want that person to be engaged and involved in material entanglement. Because this kind of demigod worship is going to get you entangled. And in which way is it going to get you entangled? Well, you will pray to the demigod, you'll get something, you like it, you'll pray again, you'll get something, pray again, get something. And that's all you're doing. You're enjoying your material life. You wanted a car, you wanted a bungalow. None of that is a transcendental item. It's only when you utilize the things here in the service of the Lord do they become transcendental. And when you are utilizing things in the service of the Lord, then keeping and asking things for myself is out of question. Yat karoshi, yat ashnasi, yat juhoshi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi konteya tat kurushvad mad arpanam. It says that whatever you do, whatever you give away, whatever you eat, do it as an offering to Krishna. So everything they are doing it for Krishna. So nothing is there for themselves. So they are not worried about it, right? They stay happy in life, right? And in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, in the purport for today's verse, Srila Prabhupada is quoting, Srila Prabhupada is saying that akama sarvakama moksha kama udaradhihi tivrena bhakti yogina yajeta purusham param. So akama sarvakamova. Akama means, kama means desire, akama means with no desires. So a person has got no desires for himself, no material desires, that is. Akama sarvakamova. Va means or. So somebody with full of desires, right? Akama with no desires, or sarvakamova is full of desires, material desires. Right? He's saying, even if you're in that situation, you come to me. We should come to him. Tivrena bhakti. Tivra means very good speed. Tivrena bhakti yogena jajita bhaktam bhaktite param. Right? So they will, whether you're full of desires or whether you have no desires at all, in either cases, you should just worship the Supreme Lord with your intelligence. Right? And even if I was sarva kamova, even if I was full of material desires, and I decided to go to Krishna to ask him for those material desires, I am getting connected with somebody who is transcendental. So that layer is going to protect me. That contamination or the connection, not contamination, but the mingling with the transcendental is going to make me transcendental. Like that. Okay, so here saying kāmais there. So then your thinking faculty gets dulled because you're so overcome with your desires for material nature, and I want them quick, right? And I want them before my neighbor can get it, like that, right? So I want those things very, very, very quickly. So what I do is, let me go to some fast food, right? If you want to eat food very quickly, you'll go to a fast food restaurant, right? They'll give you quickly deep fried stuff. Right? But if you want to really eat healthy, then you will go to a place where things are done properly. Okay? So he's saying akama sarvakamava. So either you have akama with no desire or sarvakamava. You're full of desires and you want to get them done really, really quickly. Right? Moksha kama udharati. Okay, you have figured it out that this material world is not good place to live, and I am desiring liberation from the material world. Moksha kama. Right? Udharati is the intelligence. So whether you are any of these questions, any of these different types of people, and you would definitely interact with Krishna in different situations in different ways. So he's saying then moksha kamadhari tivrena bhakti yogena, but just by keeping in connection with Krishna, tivrena, very quickly you will get into devotional service. Like that. Bhakti yogena yajita purusham param. So that is how they win. Yajita, they worship. Okay. So today's verse is talking about this, right? Now, in Bhagavad-gita, later on, in a later chapter, there is a chapter on divisions of faith. Okay, so I'm going to bring up that chapter because there are some very nice verses there. And let's see. And this question was asked by Arjuna. So bringing up here in front of you, share divisions of faith. Okay, so we will do a few texts, just the beginning few texts over here. So who's going to read? I need four volunteers to read through the 4 one by one translations.
I will read some.
Okay, so you read text number 1. Okay, and then so the
text number 1. Arjuna inquired, "O Krishna, what is the situation of those who do not follow the principles of scripture but worship according to their own imagination? Are they in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance?"
Text 2. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "According to the moods of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one's faith can be three kinds: in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance. Now hear about this.
Who
son
wants to
of-
read? Go ahead.
Mother, just bring up a little. O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one involves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can I read?
Yeah.
Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits.
What's the spirits?
Nice, nice. So you see how people are going to different places,
Yeah.
right?
Mataji, can I read the next?
Actually, we don't
No.
have to read this now.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
just wanted to
okay.
stop. But
No
thank
problem.
you.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, so this is just about the worship, right? So he's talking about, so when people concoct their own things, right? For example, people can build a temple for Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli or whoever is the big cricketer these days,
Yeah.
right? People can come up with their own versions of who, even who a demigod is.
Yeah.
So, and people can rake their brains. But they are still going to hover only in this upari ada. They'll go up to the higher planets when they're
Come back.
they'll come back. Then they'll again work, then they'll go up. They again come down, right? So when you go and worship the demigods, right, it takes a very long time actually to come to devotional service from there, and you will require the intervention of a pure devotee to be able to do that. Because otherwise what's going to happen is that it's all happening kāmais, tais, hṛta-jñānāḥ. It is the desires which are in us. And so when we desire something, we get it from the demigod, and guess what? The next day
It will go. It comes fast and goes fast.
it comes from goes God, yeah, but the next day it's not necessarily that it will go away. But what is pretty sure is that next day I will want something better than that.
No, yeah, that's true.
Right? So
Because I got this clean, I
Yeah.
will be tempted to ask something else.
Right. So then that vicious circle continues when you're doing demigod worship. That you're constantly just in that net of material world. You're not getting out of it.
That's true.
And in that path, you might come across some people who are, will take you to Mayavad philosophy. Those kind of things can also happen
Sidetrack.
when you're on this path. Right? So we just don't concoct things like that on our own. Right? It is recommended to worship Krishna or Vishnu, then we should worship Krishna or Vishnu, right?
That's true.
So there is a very famous there's a very famous verse in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that says Athapi te dev padambuja dvaya prasad leshanugrihita evahi janati tatvam bhagavan
Mahiman, sir.
nachanyameko pichiran vichimran. So this is what Brahma, in Bhagavatam. Okay? So what this is saying that, Athapi te dev padam bhuja dvaya. So he's saying that, hey Dev, is praying to Krishna, Athapi te dev padam bhuja, your lotus feet, dvaya, your two lotus feet, right? So then if this is Athapi te dev padam bhuja, prasad leshanu grihita eve. So lesha means a filament, right? Just say you see the jackfruit, right? So you cut the jackfruit and then you can take the filaments out of it, right? So filament is very, very thin, something very thin. So filament in the bulb, electrical bulb, there is that filament that is inside, right? It's very thin. So filament is basically something very thin and very small. So what they're saying is that Athapite dev pajam bhujatvaya prasad leshanu grihita evi. So from you, even if I get lesha matra, your mercy, prasad is mercy. So if a person gets just a little bit of a mercy of your lotus feet. Right? So from the mercy of slight mercy of the lotus feet of the Lord, right? Then he can understand what Krishna is. They can understand. Athapite deva padambujamya prasadaleshanu grihita evahi janati tattvam. You will understand the truth. And that is Krishna. Janati tattvam bhagwan mahimno. And you'll also know the mahima or the greatness of the Lord. Right? And what you're going to do? That athapite dev padambujamya prasadaleshanu grihita evahi. That if by some mercy, how much mercy of the lotus feet of the Lord? Just like a filament. Even if you get like a filament of the mercy of the Lord, then you will be able to understand. Janati tattvam bhagwan mahino. Na chanya eko chiran vichanvan. And not those who chir means for a very long time. Not for those who are very long time who are doing vichinvan, which is they are doing speculation. God must be like this. God must be like that. It's too difficult to put God. He's heavy. Let me put him in a trunk. Maybe that makes it a little easier for me to carry him around like that. But God is in every particle of this universe. Every particle. Right? And for me to be able to understand that he's there everywhere, then prasadaleshanu, I need to get the mercy of the Lord to be able to understand it. Otherwise, nachanyam eko pichiran vichanvan. And I can do chir for a very long time. I can just speculate and say, oh, he must be like that. Oh, he must be like that. He must be like that. Why are you speculating? Oh, Krishna actually energy, he became a person. Why are you speculating? The scriptures are there. Read them. They'll give you the right guidance. Like
this is Bhagavatam 10, 14, 29.
Yeah. Athapite
deva padam pujadvaya prasadalesana grahita evahi jnanati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanya eko vichiram vichinnam.
Yeah, and it is not jnanapi, it is janati. It is not
Janati. I'm sorry, Janati.
Janati. Yeah,
Janati.
Janati. You will
My
not.
Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years.
Right. So, when we go to demigods, right, and we ask them for mercy, here we are talking about mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? Pasadaleshanu grihita, just the mercy of the lotus feet of the Lord. We're talking about that. But demigods can also give us mercy. Mercy is there, right? And you get something that you didn't deserve, probably. That's also one grace that we call. So
beautiful slogan.
When they give you the mercy of a demigod, kripa, right? The mercy of a demigod, kripa, is kapat kripa. Kapat kripa. Yeah, it's not straightforward, not straight. There's something fishy there.
Yeah.
What is the fishy there? It entangles you even more. You ask for a car, you got a car. The car has got into an accident, now you're suffering. Right? You ask for a car, you're in the car, and then you drove the car, you broke your backbone. What kind of a mercy is that? So instead of that, Krishna will not give it to you. If he knows that, this is what is going to happen to you, he will not give. So when Krishna doesn't give anything, a person who's hṛta-jñānāḥ, who's not hṛta-jñānāḥ, who still has got some intelligence in him, will take it as a mercy of the Lord, even that I did not give it. And what will he say? Again from that same chapter of Bhagavatam, Tattenukampam susamikṣamāno jnānamevatma kritam vipākam hidvāgavapubher vidadam namaste jiveta so mukti padesa bhaya bhag. Right? So she's going to say that. So people will speculate, right? That, like you said, they can read the Vedas for a very long time and try to understand Krishna from the Vedas. They can sit and meditate and try to get Krishna, understand Krishna, right? But Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita 18.55, the very famous verse. What is 18.55? Anybody remember?
It's
Let me bring it up.
Karma? No. not karma.
Bhaktya mam abhijanati.
Yeah.
Yavan yaschasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvato gyatva vishate tad anantaram. Bhaktya, by pure devotional service. Mam, me, abhijanati. There was janati tattvam. This is abhijanati. One can know.
One can
Abhijanati is stronger than janati, right? Abhijanati, one can know. Yavan, as much. Yahacha asmi, as I am. Tattvataha, in truth. Tataha, therefore. Mam, me. Tattvataha, in truth. Gyatva, knowledge. Vishate, he enters. Tad anantaram, therefore. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of the Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and his plenary portions cannot be understood by mental speculation, nor by the non-devotees. If anyone wants to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has to take to pure devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee. Otherwise, the truth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead will always be hidden. As already stated in Bhagavad-gita 7.29-25, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. He is not revealed to anyone. No one can understand God simply by erudite scholarship or mental speculation. Only one who is actually engaged in Krishna consciousness and devotional service can understand what Krishna is. University degrees are not helpful. One who is fully conversant with Krishna science becomes eligible to enter into the spiritual kingdom, the abode of Krishna. Becoming Brahman does not mean that one loses his identity. Devotional service is there. And as long as devotional service exists, there must be God, the devotee, and the process of devotional service, right? So devotional service happens, the three elements are there. The worshipper, the worshipped, and the process. Such knowledge is never vanquished, even after liberation. Liberation involves getting free from the concept of material life, that's all. In spiritual life, the same distinction is there, the same individuality is there. But in pure Krishna consciousness, one should not mistakenly think that this world Vishate enters into me. Supports a monastic theory that one becomes homogeneous with the impersonal Brahman. No, Vishate means that one can enter into the abode of the Supreme Lord in one's individuality, to engage in his association and render service unto him. For instance, a green bird enters a green tree, not to become one with the tree, but to enjoy the fruits of the tree. Impersonalists generally give the examples of a river flowing into the ocean and merging. This may be a source of happiness for the impersonalist, but the personalist keeps his personal individuality like an aquatic in the ocean. We find so many living entities within the ocean if we go into the deep. Surface acquaintance with the ocean is not sufficient. It's very, very important. So surface acquaintance with the ocean is equating in our size that just on the periphery we are doing some devotional service. That's not sufficient. One must have complete knowledge of the aquatic living in the ocean depths. Because of his pure devotional service, a devotee can understand the transcendental qualities and the opulences of the Supreme Lord in truth. As it is stated in 11th chapter, only by devotional service can one understand. The same is confirmed here. One who can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotional service and can enter into the kingdom. After attainment of the Brahma-bhuta stage of freedom from material conceptions, devotional service begins by one's hearing about the Lord. When one hears about the Supreme Lord, automatically the Brahma-bhuta stage develops and material contamination, greediness, and lust for sense enjoyment disappear. As the lust and desires disappear from the heart of a devotee,
he becomes more attached.
He becomes more attached to the service of the Lord, and by attachment, he becomes free from material contamination. In that stage of life, he can understand the Supreme Lord. This is the statement of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also. After liberation, the process of bhakti or transcendental service continues. So the reward of bhakti is bhakti. The Vedanta Sutra 4.1.12 confirms this. Prayanat tatrapi hi drishtam. This means that after liberation, the process of devotional service continues. In the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, real devotional service is described as the reinstatement of the living entity in his own identity, his own constitutional position. The constitutional position is already explained. Every living entity is a part and parcel, fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his constitutional position is to serve. After liberation, this service is never stopped. Actually, liberation is getting free from the misconception of life, and which is stark and opposite to what the Mayavadis say, who are along the lines of impersonalism, and they talk about a God, and then they also make it worse by saying, you also are God, right? So no, our constitutional position is to serve, and even if I become liberated, and I think that's the verse just before that, I think 1854 is that verse, that talks about Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nashochati Nama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labde Varam. So he goes and continues to do devotional service. So through devotional service, you get Krishna. And after you get Krishna, you will continue to do service to Krishna only. It's not that I use Krishna as a means, right? So sometimes when you go to the Mayavadis, they will talk about, okay, these are 5 devatas that you can worship. Surya is there, Lakshmi is there, Krishna is there, Ganesh is there, Shiva is there. These are panch that you can worship. And from that worshipping of these panchas, you will come to, and you can sing bhajans to them. You can take, take sattvic food only, all that you can do. But the element of God is missing. They are only over there, and their concept of God is not as a personality, but as a some sort of a light that takes the form like that here when he comes here to this material world. But that's not the true case. So a person in pure devotional service will understand that and will continue to do devotional service. Even when they see Krishna, they will just continue to do devotional service. And that's what Dhruv Maharaj did, right? He went there for material gain. He wanted to have a kingdom better than his great-grandfather, Brahma. But when he saw Krishna, then he refused. He said, no, idam na yache, Swami, right? Idam na yache, I'm not going to ask you anything. I was asking for pieces of, pieces of glass. And I'm seeing here in front of me is a diamond. You are the diamond, Lord, like that. So he is, so when it comes to pure devotional service, right? And being in touch with Krishna is the only thing that's going to, or Krishna or his devotees is the only thing that is going to get you to devotional service. And they have a capability, and we talked about the divisions of faith, right? The people in worshipping in mode of goodness, in mode of passion, made of ignorance. So like that. But these modes are still modes of material nature. Pure devotional service transcends this boundary of materialism and goes across to something that is spiritual and which is in alignment with our own process, our own constitutional position, right? This is what our constitutional position is, that we are all servants of the Lord. We like to serve Lord. And that gets reflected here and there. The soul is meant to worship. The soul likes to worship, right? But it ends up worshipping the wrong thing. You're imposing, you're putting you're resting your faith in the wrong object. And that has to be so. It is very important for us to have a goal, and then the right goal, which is Krishna, and to understand our concept of, and to understand our sambandha gyan, what is my relationship with Krishna. That's very important. Because for most of us, Krishna is like a dad who is supplying things to me. He's like nothing more than an order supplier. And the moment you get the same order somewhere cheaper, you'll just go there. Right? But that is not what Krishna is. He's not my order supplier. It's the other way around. I am his servant. Yeah, go ahead.
Question, Mataji. Yeah. What happens if, along with Supreme Personality of God, praying Supreme Personality of Godhead, can we do the demigods also?
And the question here will be, why?
No, but what I'm asking is that
the question,
if a person, if a person.
Not you. Yeah, I'm not saying you, why you will do that. I'm just asking.
If it's me also, it's okay. If a person does, we all know that Supreme Personality of God is Krishna, okay? He is the Father. He takes care of us. But along with that, no, it's just I pray like that, demigods also. So is it wrong or is it okay?
And my answer will depend on once you answer this first question. Why is a person worshipping demigod?
Nothing, just like that.
No, you don't worship anybody just like that.
Krishna is the main one I am worshipping. But those demigods are also there. So why can't I just pray them also?
There are then you should pray to everybody. My question here is why? And this is the defiant soul. This is what the soul does. That Krishna is saying, Man mana mad bhakto, mad yaji mam namasko. He's saying, and then soul is saying, what about demigod? I want to do demigod. This is the soul's nature. You're not truly surrendered to Krishna. If somebody was truly surrendered to Krishna, it'd be like, yeah, Krishna said, worship me, you will worship him. Right? Go ahead,
Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. One question comes in mind that Lakshmi Ma is always serving Krishna. And then at that time, can we offer prayer to Lakshmi Ma that please bless me to be to serve the Lord. Give me the service at the lotus feet of the Lord. You have blessed me with all the gifts. Give me this gift also. So is that okay?
And that was the question I was asking Vindhyavali Mataji, that if a person is worshipping demigod, I want to know, why are you worshipping the demigod? It cannot be like, just like that, like how teenagers will answer, like, yeah. Like, no, you have to.
He's also a god, that's why. Not that I'm asking anything. See, even Krishna also.
My question is, when you don't want anything from anybody, why are you worshipping him? And there can be a right answer.
I'm not worshipping another human being. I'm worshipping a demigod.
So demigods are who are demigods? They're just demigods are a variety of human beings, isn't it? They are just just a species. Yeah. So why are we doing that species? So you have to understand that part behind it, right? Like Varshana Mataji had, some reason that she wanted to worship Lakshmi. And so saying that, Lakshmi, you are so good at serving Vishnu, I also want to serve. Okay? Now, we have to be careful about when we ask these things. Like if you're saying, I want to get the same kind of service to Vishnu, you will get service to Vishnu. But where do we put our focus? Do we focus on Vishnu?
Serving.
Who do we focus on?
Vishnu.
Krishna.
Right? Because Vishnu will take you to Vaikuntha Lokas.
Krishna.
And Krishna will take you to Golok Vrindavan. So here you have to be very careful. Yanti deva vrta devan pritin yati pritivata bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti majyajinopi mam. Whoever you worship, they can take you to their home. Brahma, you worship Brahma, Brahma can only take you to his home.
Because
right? If you worship Indra, Indra can only take you to his home.
Krishna's lotus feet, that is the main keyword.
Most of the people in their temple at home, they have Ganeshji's small little
and so why? Again, every time somebody is worshipping the demigod, we have to ask the question, why?
Yeah, Mataji, but the answer I got from Satyavati Mataji, she is no more. She said he is the one who sat down and wrote whole of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Mahabharata, and that is the reason that we should pray to him, that it is his mercy that we have Mahabharata and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad-gita in front of us, because he was so merciful. Vāsudeva spoke and he wrote.
He wrote it. Vāsudeva spoke it and spoke.
Yeah.
He wrote it.
So when you pray to God, right? When you pray to God, and Mother Sangini, I'll come to you momentarily.
Okay.
When you pray to God, right? So the prayers will start with glorifying, thanking, and then asking. So in this case, what are we asking from Ganesh? We went all the way to being thankful.
Because he gave Yes.
Just thanking him that
You're
you
just
did such
thanking
a
him,
good job.
right? Right? You're not asking Ganesh. Now,
No.
my question is, can I ask Ganesh for something? This is a question for everybody. Can you think of something that we can ask Ganesh? What is Ganesh famous for? Tell me. What does Ganesh do? Famous?
Obstacles. He won't.
Huh?
He won't
Remove
do the
obstacles.
obstacles. He will take
He removes
Obstacles.
obstacles.
obstacles, right? Okay. Now, do you get any obstacles in your
No.
life?
Life is full of obstacles, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But in your devotional life, do you get any obstacles?
No.
Luckily not.
You don't get
No,
any
there
obstacles?
no, sorry, Mother. There are obstacles. So you see, many a times you see something, you are thinking of doing something, you make a timetable. Yeah, this is the time I'm going to do chanting and writing or something, whatever. And at that moment only, something will come up and you won't be able to do it.
Yeah. And so I had mentioned, sometimes that there is how about
For
feeling
example,
sleepy?
Mataji,
How
I
about
want
feeling
to go
sleepy
to.
when you are chanting?
Huh?
You
Hare
feel
Krishna.
sleepy when they were chanting. Huh? And like
Sleepy?
you said one which was when I'm sitting down to do something devotional, something material comes in the mind. Right? So these are, sometimes there is no such thing, right? That I'm not even remembering material topics. I'm not even feeling sleepy, right? But I am still,
Trying to chant.
my chanting and thing does not happen properly. I don't have this, I don't have that. So there are, there are lots of obstacles to our devotional service. Right? Maya herself is an obstacle to our
Yeah.
devotional service because she's always testing you. So if Ganesh can remove obstacles, then you can pray to Ganesha and you can ask him for removing obstacles in your devotional service.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, this is wonderful.
Asking Ganesha to remove obstacles in your material
Yeah,
life, he will remove them. He will remove them from your material life also, but they will appear again at a later stage, right? So they can only do that much, right? But karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam govindamadi purisham tamam bhajami. This says that all my karmic reactions can only get burned down by doing devotional service to Krishna. Ganesha cannot wipe out your karmic reactions. He cannot do that. He can only adjust them here and there, put them on a different calendar schedule.
Oh, okay.
But we can thank him also. Thank him, no?
You can thank anybody. There's nothing wrong in thanking. There's no harm in thanking. Right? I am talking about going to demigods, so asking for something. And recently, Vaisheshika Prabhu was saying that when you put, the question always asks is that, can we put demigods on the altar? Right? On the altar where I have got Krishna, can I put demigods? And he answered very recently in the class, he answered and he said, yes, you can put your demigods on the altar, but if you put them facing you and Krishna is also facing you and you're praying to all of them, they will feel very embarrassed. For example, if you're standing next to your spiritual master, Vindhyavali Mataji, and I come in and start touching your feet, how will you feel? I touch your spiritual master's feet also, I touch you will feel embarrassed. So by doing that, by putting demigods on the altar in this way, at the same level as Krishna and then facing us as Krishna is facing us, Krishna Radha, facing us, then we are putting them into embarrassment. And you're also dividing, you're also preventing them from having a look at Krishna. You're looking at both of them, but they're looking at you.
Got it.
Right? So demigods can be put on the altar, but they should be put in such a way that they are also looking towards Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Yeah, Satyavati Mataji told me this long time back that when you are keeping the picture of Ganeshji, it should be facing Narasimhadev because he is a pure devotee of Narasimhadev.
There you go. Madhav Sangeeti.
One more question, Mataji.
Hold on. Madhav Sangeeti was ahead of you in the queue.
Question. Yeah, actually, part of my question, we already discussed it because it was like when we surrender to Krishna with truly surrender, then there is no need for asking any demigods, but at the same time, they are devotees of Krishna also. So we just love them for that also.
Correct. And respect them for being devotees. Correct. So again, he's bhavgrahi Janardhan. Krishna knows what is inside your heart. You can hide your heart from everybody else, but you
Not
can't
from
hide it from
Krishna.
Krishna. So if you went to Ganesha and was asking like, Ganesha, there's some obstacles coming in my promotion and I want that car and a promotion will give me a raise and I'll be able to buy that, right? And you tell everybody, no, I was just thanking Ganesha. Krishna knows what you were doing. Not only Krishna, a lot of other demigods also know. So yeah, we are kind of exposed here completely. So yes, right. Now Pandavali Mataji, for the last question of the day.
See, these, when we go to the Krishna temple, we have all these devotees, like, for example, Prabhupada and Bhakti Vinod Saraswati. He's all the disciples, their Swamis, everybody will be there. They are facing us too. We are praying Krishna. But at the same time, like you said, I'm praying to everybody. Prabhupada and his Guru.
I said prayers. So the point that you need to focus on is prayer has got certain sections. Okay? The first section will be glorifying Krishna.
Okay.
Aditya Varnam Tamasa Pasatsa Kavi Puranam Anushashitaram. What are we doing? We're glorifying him. Right?
Yeah.
And then comes the thanking part of it. And then comes the asking part of it.
Okay.
And then comes the part where we say, okay, Krishna, even if you don't give it to me, I'll take it as your blessing and I'll understand that you're not giving it to me because of some reason. So prayer has got sections in it, right?
Yeah.
Just don't go and ask Krishna straight away that I want this.
That's true.
And Krishna will give even without your asking. Krishna will give.
Yeah, he knows what.
Did you have to ask for everything?
I don't know, Mataji, when he will give. I want to come to California and see Guru Maharaj and do some. The last time I did some little service.
Right,
I wanted to do like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know. I'm praying Krishna.
Yeah.
One time
You're praying Krishna, right? And you're missing out on the last part of the prayer where you surrender to Krishna and say, even if I don't come to California,
somewhere I want.
I will take it as that surrender has to come to Krishna.
Okay. Thank you.
Otherwise, you will be agitated all the time. You'll always be thinking about California. And once, I went to a lecture. It was a very nice. It was not Krishna ISKCON lecture, but somewhere. They said that when you find faults in anything, for example, if I start finding faults in Varshana Mataji, right? Or even
you can say my name.
If I start finding faults in the Tesla car, okay, this car has got this. I think its steering wheel doesn't. Whatever. I haven't driven a Tesla. I'm just speculating. This is there. The tires are too wide. The brake is not sufficient, and all that. I can criticize, right? So when I'm criticizing a Tesla car, who am I criticizing? Am I criticizing that car?
No, whoever made that.
No.
Right. Yeah. So remember this in my mind, that when you criticize others, who are you criticizing?
Whoever made that person.
The Father.
Krishna.
Who is that? That person has a name?
Father, our Father. Krishna.
Krishna, right? So we are criticizing. When you criticize others, you are criticizing Krishna. Similarly, when we start criticizing or making comments on Krishna's plans,
not good.
we are criticizing Krishna. So that's why Vachu Vegam, the urge to speak.
Vachu.
Yeah. You just grin and bear it. Krishna
this is a nice example you gave me, Mataji.
Yeah.
Somebody, and whoever made that person, I'm criticizing that person.
Yeah.
That's a really good example for me. So we have to be very, very careful with that.
Yes, anybody.
And just say, that.
And like they say, charity begins at home.
That person, not Krishna, but it's indirectly Krishna.
Yeah. So charity begins at home when we just get into the habit of appreciating. And it's a practice, it's a sadhana, which means that, every time a thought comes to my mind, which is a criticizing thought, finding mistakes and errors and things like that, every time something like that happens, then I will practice and say, okay, now I have to find 2 good things about that.
That's true.
Right? So slowly this
Very good
criticizing
example,
tendency will go
Mataji.
away.
That is very, very good example.
Yeah, yeah.
We all have to be very careful.
Okay, so on that note of being careful, I will call it a day on this call. It's 11 past
That's
7.
not good. That's not good.
It's way past Sutapa Mataji's bedtime.
Oh, she's there. Is she there?
She's here. She's quiet. Ever since she came back from India, she's been quiet.
What happened, Sutapa?
But she still knows the number of the verse that we are reading. That she's supposed to answer.
I put a mark too on that.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Panchikalpatarubhyasya vasudevya patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Gopremanande
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna to everybody.
Hare Krishna ji.